Therefore, when Festus came into the province, after the third day, he went up to Jerusalem from Caesarea. And the princes of priests and the worthiest of the Jews went to him against Paul, and prayed him, and asked grace against him, that he should command him to be led to Jerusalem. And they set ambush to slay him in the way. But Festus answered, that Paul should be kept in Caesarea, soothly that he himself should proceed more advisedly. Therefore he said, they that in you be mighty, come down together, and if any crime is in the man, accuse they him. And he dwelled among them no more than 10 days, and came down to Caesarea. And the t'other day he set for doomsmen, and commanded Paul to be brought. When he was brought forth, Jews stood about him, which came down from Jerusalem, putting against him many and grievous causes, which they might not prove. For Paul yielded reason in all things, that neither against the law of Jews, neither against the temple, neither against the emperor, I sinned anything. But Festus would do grace to the Jews, and answered to Paul and said, wilt thou go up to Jerusalem, and there be deemed of these things before me? And Paul said, at the doomed place of the emperor I stand, where it behoveth me to be deemed. I have not annoyed the Jews, as thou knowest well. For if I have annoyed, either done anything worthy death, I forsake not to die. But if nothing of those is, that they accuse me, no man may give me to them. I appeal to the emperor. Then Festus spake with the council, and answered, to the emperor thou hast appealed, to the emperor thou shalt go. And when some days were past, Agrippa king and Bernice came down to Caesarea to welcome Festus. And when they dwelled there many days, Festus showed to the king of Paul, and said, a man is left bound to Felix, of which, when I was at Jerusalem, princes of priests and the elder men of the Jews came to me, and asked damnation against him. To whom I answered, that it is not custom to Romans to damn any man, before that he that is accused have his accusers present, and take place of defending, to put away the crimes that be put against him. Therefore when they came together hither, without any delay, in the day pursuing I sat for doomsmen, and commanded the man to be brought. And when his accusers stood, they said no cause of which things I had suspicion of evil, but they had against him some questions of their vain worshipping, and of one Jesus dead, whom Paul affirmed to live. And I doubted of such manner questions, and said, whether he would go to Jerusalem, and there be deemed of these things. But for Paul appealed, that he should be kept to the knowing of the emperor, I commanded him to be kept, till I send him to the emperor. And Agrippa said to Festus, I myself would hear the man. And he said, tomorrow thou shalt hear him. And on the t'other day, when Agrippa and Bernice came with great desire, and entered into the auditorium, with tribunes and the principal men of the city, when Festus bade, Paul was brought. And Festus said, King Agrippa, and all men that be with us, ye see this man, of which all the multitude of Jews prayed me at Jerusalem, and asked, and cried, that he should live no longer. But I found that he had done nothing worthy of death, and I deemed to send him to the emperor, for he appealed this thing, of which man I have not certain what thing I shall write of the Lord, for which thing I brought him to you, and mostly to thee, thou King Agrippa, that when asking is made, I have what I shall write. For it is seen to me without reason to send a bound man, and not to signify the cause of him.